Hello, everyone, and welcome to another client success interview. My name is Dr. Chanel T. Smith, and I am a doctoral strategist. So what I do is I help doctoral students earn their degrees faster so they can become doctor sooner. I am so happy to be here with the future Dr. Taurean Webb, here to share his doctoral success with you all. As I say it, I can talk all day till I'm blue in the face about you can have the success, but it's another thing to hear from a flesh and blood doctoral student going through the process. So again, Taurean, thank you so much for being here with us. I appreciate your time, especially with your growing family, a beautiful family. So thank you. Can you please tell everyone who you are, the type of doctorate you're earning, and in what field is your research?
Yes, hi. Thank you, Dr. Smith, for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
As you mentioned, my name is Taurean Webb. I am a doctoral student at Garrett Evangelical Theological Seminary, and my field is theology, ethics, and history.
Thank you so much. And what is your why? Why is having a successful doctoral program important to
Mhm.
you, and for whom? What type of change or impact are you trying to make, or are you going to make?
Sure. Yeah. So I appreciate that question. For me, it really started. I mean, there's a way in which it started in my home growing up. You know, my mother holds a PhD, so I think, but even before I knew I wanted to go into higher education, I always kind of saw her as an important model. But it didn't really click for me until I got to college for the best years of my life. I was at Morehouse College in Atlanta, and it was there that I really started to get serious about this distinction between being a consumer of knowledge on the one
Mm,
hand, and on the other hand, being a producer of knowledge, right? So
yep,
when I think about my why, it has everything to do with um, preparing myself intellectually, credentialing myself, such that for me and my family and the communities that I understand myself as coming out of,
mhm,
really being able to produce knowledge,
right.
which as you know, as we all do, that is an especially important work for communities that have been historically marginalized, continue to be so.
Exactly. I really appreciate you talking about the distinction between being a consumer of knowledge and being a producer of knowledge, right? And all of that, the first thing you have to do is have access, right? We have access to a whole bunch of information we can consume that
Right.
other people put out. But if we want to affect change, if we want to be able to contribute to scholarship, we do have to be a producer of knowledge. And I remember going through our coaching sessions and the knowledge that you're producing, which I don't want you to give away because I
Sure.
want them to see it in its published form.
Sure.
But you really are going to make an impact, especially for those who are marginalized, to kind of pave the way and let them know that they can do the same thing in
Yeah,
whatever avenue or field that God is calling them to do. So I'm really pleased and happy and honored to have been on that journey with you.
I
So thank
appreciate
you for
that.
that. Just two more questions. What transformation has happened in your doctoral program and your life since you made the decision to invest in yourself?
hmm Yeah, so there, I'm a firm believer that we bring all of ourselves, to this work, especially those of us in the humanities. We are the tools of our trade, the tools of our
Mhm.
craft. With that being said, I have to take seriously like the different parts of myself as I'm on this journey of being a producer of knowledge. And for me, as you know, I'm a spouse. We have two young kids, two under two.
Mhm.
Our eldest just turned two a few months ago, and our youngest is about 3 months, which
And is
meant
making an impact already.
and is making an impact already, which meant, however, that the important milestones in my doctoral program that I've come through in the past 6 months was done not only with a growing family and all those demands, but also kind of in the moment of this global pandemic, which is
Yes.
uh, put all of us in a different way, kind of under very different conditions, very different
Right.
conditions. So for me,
Right.
one thing I knew kind of going into our consultation work was that I had to get a better handle on time management. Had to have a better handle on how I managed, my time, how I paced myself. So I would say that the biggest utility and the biggest transformation for me in my work after this investment, during this investment, has really been helping me streamline my work, my writing, my reading, and my writing in particular, such that I was able to um, work efficiently,
Mhm.
um, as well as be present with my family, which, as you know,
Yes.
is a priority, the priority for me. So
That's right. That's right. And I remember one of our first conversations of you being bivocational. I mean, you're working full time and you're
yep,
also
right,
well, first you're a full time family man, and
right,
then you're working full time, and then you're doing your doctorate full time. And
yes,
so it was all about strategy and prioritization and realizing that family
mm-hmm,
comes first. That's
mm-hmm,
you do that first, and then everything
mm-hmm,
else can fill in the schedule.
mm-hmm,
I'm glad you mentioned that. It's kind of like a good segue, but I'll talk about that in another live stream. But I am doing a masterclass called Holistic Time Management, which will go
mm-hmm,
over the strategies that we talked about.
mm-hmm,
So yeah, I mean, you really got a handle on your schedule after our first couple of sessions, and you were just banging it out and
mm-hmm.
still making time for
Yeah,
having time for, I don't want to say not making time for family, but making time for your work in the
yeah,
midst
yeah,
of
yes, yes,
being with your
yes.
family. So
Yes, yeah, and I should say there that the only reason that was able to happen, and we strategized, which was helpful, but really that was able to happen because I'm fortunate to have such a solid support system, kind of outside of the classroom, like here in my home,
yes,
with the spouse and the partner who gets it, and that I know that's something that I want to be mindful not to take for granted,
yes.
and just acknowledge that.
I just told my husband the other day that his name needs to be on my doctorate too.
Yeah,
That we cannot
right,
do what
right,
we do without our
sure,
support system.
sure.
But I also want to give you credit. In fact, you brought your wife into the process,
Hmm.
right? It wasn't like, this is my plan, this is what's going
Sure,
down, I need you to fall in line.
sure,
No, it was like,
sure.
this is what I am offering. Is this work for us?
Yeah,
Does this work for us? And so
sure,
you are absolutely right. So yeah,
sure,
you need a support system.
sure, sure.
Yes. So given all the lessons that you've learned, what would be the number one tip or piece of advice that you would offer to your fellow doctoral students?
Hmm. Yeah, and this might sound simple and a bit mundane, but I took this for granted. Um, uh, it would be to get started. I'm a Virgo. I am a perfectionist. I mean, this. I'm a perfectionist to the T, as I know are many doctoral students. Because we like things in academics. We like things the way we like them. It needs to be polished in a particular way because our name is on it. And I think all that is important to maintain, but not to the point that it stifles us from, as this was my case, not to the point that it stifles us from getting our thoughts onto paper. One of my former advisors, I think, said it brilliantly when he said to me years ago, I know you might think you know what you're thinking in your head, but it doesn't really exist until it's out on paper, right? Because once we get it
Very
on paper,
true.
then you can workshop it, and then you have something to go from. That's something, Dr. Smith, you told me years ago at an FTE retreat. Just get it down, get your ideas
Yes.
out of your head,
Right.
so that we can have something from which to work. And I think that is one of the greatest pieces of advice, in addition to the time
Yeah.
management piece that I've ever received on this journey.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to have someone to just to brainstorm with, right?
Hmm.
Because even when I'm writing an article or something, I still need a colleague to say, help me, this is what's percolating in my head, help me make sense of this. And
Hmm.
so I definitely get your advice to just get started, right?
Hmm.
All those thoughts that you
Hmm.
have, put them on paper, type them
Hmm.
all out, do a brain dump, and
Yep.
then go through and figure out what you're trying to say or what you plan to say
Sure.
to commit to scholarship.
Sure.
So I really appreciate you taking the time and
Oh,
for blessing all
wonderful.
us with your story. For those of you who are wondering whether or not you can have the same type of success as future Dr. Taurean Webb, the answer is yes. You just have to do the three things that he already did, and that is have to be coachable. You have to know the importance of self-investment, and you have to be determined to have results right now. You
Yep.
can do it. And I would love to be on that journey with you. If you can do those three things, I invite you to schedule a free call just so that we can see whether or not I can help you. And I want to hear about your goals and what you're struggling with, or even if you just say, you know what, Dr. Smith, I just want to go faster. So I invite you to
Mhm.
schedule a free call. The link is in the description of the video. And again, Taurean, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I wish you continued success on your journey, and I cannot wait to get the email that you are about to get minted. Thank
Yes, indeed.
you so much. Everyone,
Thank
you
you.
have a great day. Take care.